Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our introduction to DataGalaxy and data governance. Hi, Lauren. How are you?
Hi, Karan. Thank you very much for the invite. Looking forward to share our capabilities with the audience.
Great. Yeah, we're looking forward to hearing it. We're delighted to be announcing this morning that we've become a DataGalaxy partner, and that we are really excited about what this can bring to our solution and to all our customers across IMGS and data builders. For those who may be coming in from the IMGS side of the house, IMGS is always our GIS company. Data builders is our new data brand. We're doing data analytics, data governance, and data integration. But the Data Galaxy solution is open to and will work with all of our customers. So with either side you're coming in, I see there's a good few people here from different sides of the house. You hopefully be happy to see everything we're showing. So I think everybody has joined. I think we'll get started. So just to do quick introductions, as most people on the call will know, my name is Kieran Kirk. I'm the Operations Director with Data Builders and IMGS. And joining us this morning is Laurent, who is the Chief Evangelist with Data Galaxy. Hi, so Laurent, I'll let you introduce yourself in a second when we come to your introductory
Yeah,
slides.
thank you.
So, um, anyone who's attended my series of data webinars over the last couple of months will be aware of this slide, which shows the challenges facing organizations today. So again, we've talked through a number of these challenges on the different webinars. You know, the explosion of data, timely access to information, being able to connect legacy systems, the limited resources in IT, so the move towards low code or no code solutions, the growth in spatial data, and you know, coming from our background where we've always been strong in GIS, we can recognize that. Still, lots of manual and inefficient processes. The demand by citizens and customers to meet government and regulations and public data sharing, and then cross-team data sharing is really important. But for us in IMGS and Data Builders, what we have seen over the last 3 years is just a real push from all our customers for looking for data governance solutions. So GDPR was the big buzzword a few years ago. It did bring this to a head, but I'm now seeing it when I work with my customers, a bigger investment in ensure that cybersecurity is correct, in making sure that data is protected, making sure we understand what data is where and where it's required. And actually, from a lot of our customers in Ireland, and we've over 120 agencies across the island of Ireland, very few have full, what we would call metadata and data governance solutions. This is something that people have who might be looking for insights with build an analytics platform, who are looking for data integration to bring systems together. But we forget about the governance, we forget about the metadata. And even yesterday, I was talking to one customer and we were trying to go, well, that feature, what age is it coming from? Where did it come from? Where do we store that information? And we were actually talking about just putting it into the table with the data because there was no metadata to put it anymore. So metadata is really important. It's a big driver. It is now required more than ever because of the challenges we now meet as organizations and with these new data protection guidelines, but also it's required because poor metadata can also lead to other issues. So if you don't understand your data, if you don't understand where your data is coming from, you can then, if you're doing analytics, you can then generate poor insights. I remember talking to one customer who told me when he asked how much assets they owned, he got five answers, five different answers, because the people looking at the financial system didn't know which codes actually define what owned an asset. So they were getting different answers. So they didn't understand their data. So then their analytic or their insight was wrong. Metadata means you can then understand, okay, what defines what is the value of an asset. So that's something that we is a big driver, that if you're doing analytics projects, you need to understand the lineage of where your data is coming from to ensure you're getting the correct answers. As I mentioned, the big challenge we're now seeing is the data protection laws and other data governance laws that are coming in place, like GDPR, to ensure agencies are handling their data correctly. The only way you can do that, the only way to protect your data, is to have proper metadata about that information. And then actually, if you're able to have proper metadata and you're able to understand your information, you will deliver a true return on investment on the big investment you're putting in place to put in place your integration platform, your analytics platform, your data warehouse, all these other things. Unless if you have good metadata, you will have a good return on investment for that. So in Data Builders, we have three core products now, or three core solutions that we're delighted to bring to market. FME is our data integration platform. So again, I think I see on the list an awful lot of customers here are FME customers. So it's been used, we've been using it in Ireland for over 20 years. It is a market leader when it comes to data integration and also with GIS data, but really a powerful low-code solution, which fits nicely with our Sisense analytics, which is again very strong in embedded analytics and bringing the analytics to where you need them to be so that you can make better decisions and insights. And finally, we've completed our collection and we're now adding our data governance and metadata platform, which is DataGalaxy, which I'm delighted that Laurent will introduce this morning and bring us through a good overview of how that solution can work. And I think these three products come together to fill one governed, integrated analytics platform that can handle all your data management needs. And we're delighted to be becoming a DataGalaxy partner. And it fits in with the Data Builders brand. We both spell, we don't believe in spaces in the name, so it looks nice as well. So I'm going to hand over to Laurent, who will introduce DataGalaxy and himself. Laurent, I'll let you share your screen so you can have
Okay, thank
control.
you, Karen. Let me share my screen. This one, share.
While Laurent's getting ready, feel free to throw any questions in the Q&A panel, as Tanya just is kind of sent there. So if any questions, and we'll pick them up as we go or at the end. So please feel free to pass in any questions that you have. Sorry, Laurent.
Okay, no worries. It's a good reminder that we are here not only to present our stuff, but also to get insight from the attendees and questions. Do you see my screen? Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yep. Right.
Thank you very much, Karen, for the introduction. I like your approach of having a toolbox, a tool set to manage your data. I mean, if you go traveling, if you jump into the data governance journey, of course you need a map, but you need a backpack, you need water, you need food. So it's a complete set of things that you need to have of hands. So I'm very glad today to present DataGalaxy. Myself, I'm Laurent. I'm Chief Evangelist at DataGalaxy. So what does it mean being a Chief Evangelist? It means that I'm the gateway between the product and the market. And I need to understand from our customers and prospects what are the challenges, what are the needs that I can feedback to the organization. And then from the product, when I talk to the market, making sure that our product brings the right value to the customers, that they can map their use case and they can benefit from our features. And I'm also, you have a QR code there. I'm also owning the data governance kitchen. I'm a big foodista, passionate about food. I'm also a chef as a hobby, but I'm sharing with the community, with the social networks, insights on data governance from various angles. So do not hesitate to reach out to me and get connected on LinkedIn. I've 20 plus years of experience around data governance, data management. I've been a consultant in many organizations, Cognizant, Bearing Point, but also worked for a big customer, Ansell, which is the leader in glove protection manufacturing, Coca-Cola Enterprises, where I was leading the IT support for Europe. So I've been in touch with the field, with data, with IT, with business for many years, and I ran roughly a bit more than 80 data governance projects around the world. And I'm with now DataGalaxy since 3 years and a half, which is quite nice because DataGalaxy is only 8 years old. It's a French company. I spend the half of the life of DataGalaxy, and I've seen the progress of the platform and the new features. We're based in Lyon, in France, and we are really the first industry's data knowledge catalog. We don't like the word data catalog. It's too restrictive. So we really tend to bring the knowledge around our platform, and our 68 plus employees and 110 active customers, and I say active, they are leveraging the platform every day to model their use case, to build knowledge, are really making us proud of what we are delivering. And what you see, our growth is also following this trend. We've just opened back in January our first North American office with our first employee. So we are really trying to get outside of our French market. We expand UK, Ireland, Nordics, US, and the Dutch region. So our vision in terms of data governance and data catalog is that you need to address two aspects of your data, I would say, data governance. The first one is the horizontal axis is address the data knowledge. So know where are your assets from a technical standpoint. So it's really the inventory of all your data sources and all your data flows. And by addressing this this knowledge or this inventory, you reach a first level of maturity in terms of data governance. You can, of course, stop there. That's fine. You have the understanding of your assets, but it's definitely not enough. The biggest challenge to gain in maturity is to address the data culture. It's how you make people collaborating around the data within your organization, because the knowledge does not reside in technical system, in technical platforms, in databases. Knowledge resides within operations, within people's head, within subject matter experts, so they know how the data is leveraged across the organization and within their processes. So by increasing this collaboration, by breaking silos, you will reach another level of maturity. And in fact, DataGalaxy helps organization moving from low maturity or no maturity at all, what we call anarchy. And anarchy is really, I have maybe best case some Excel sheets, maybe on a SharePoint somewhere, very outdated, up to centralized collaborative platform at the heart of operations and at the heart of your data management strategy. And it's a journey. I mean, things will never happen overnight. It's not a project, it's really a journey. It's a change in the mindset of the organization. We hear a lot on the market, we will be data driven, we want to be data driven. Nice. Data driven doesn't mean that you have a strategy laid out on an Excel or on a PowerPoint. It means it's in your DNA. Every decision you make, you look at data. Every project you implement, you gather data, you document a data catalog. That's the way you slowly become data driven. And at the end of the day, every actor of this data value chain knows exactly its roles and responsibility and know how to value the data. But it's a journey. I mean, it takes time. It takes time, and this is where uh, I would say, in terms of best practice, you define your strategy. The management board defines the strategy. Usually, you have a CDO joining in who will execute the strategy, put the organization, the data governance organization in place, and immediately liaise with the business to gather use cases. I mean, really tangible, operational needs, pain, uh, challenges that can be resolved by proper data governance and data catalog. So you can show the value, you can show the return on investment on these first use cases, and then you can incrementally move forward. So if any reaction, do not hesitate to use the Q&A feature, ask your question. There is no good or bad question. We are here to share knowledge and help you guys. So uh, now, from a tangible aspects, what we are doing at DataGalaxy, we really want to build the data knowledge workplace. Is the central platform within organizations within which you will bring technical knowledge, technical metadata, functional business metadata, information about your data flows, information about your BI world, information about data quality, information about observability, and then all together aggregate this information and create this knowledge workplace. So whenever someone has a question about a data asset, he or she knows exactly where to come and where to find the information. And also, if you onboard new joiners, it helps in fact in terms of training and onboarding and ramp up in the knowledge. And to do so at Data Galaxy, what are we doing? We have three buckets of features. The first one is building your foundations, your data catalog foundations, by scanning your data knowledge. And scanning your data knowledge means what? It means that we have a series of connectors that you can either run from our platform or run from your premises, which will scan your technical landscape. So it can be sorry for the bad word, but outdated technologies such as AS400 or DB2, or let's call them legacy technologies, or it can be Excel files, it can be file stores, it can be more modern data stack with GCP, with S3 from Amazon, with Azure, whatever. We will scan and retrieve the metadata and reorganize in our data dictionary the physical structure of your systems. And if you can't leverage our connectors, we have a full library of REST APIs that can also be leveraged to incrementally enrich the content of the dictionary. And if you still want to go further, we provide a Python SDK portal within which you can build your own connectors and your own update mechanisms. Then once you have this foundation of data catalog, you will organize everything. You will manage the content of your data catalog, where we will provide, in fact, different modules, sorry, with an out-of-the-box meta model. So you will be able, in fact, to classify, organize your data assets the way you want. The way you want, mainly from a business standpoint, because technically speaking, we will replicate the implementation from the databases. So if you have a DB, two schemas, 20 tables, and 100 columns, we'll replicate this exactly. But from a business standpoint, of course, you need to remain agnostic from the system. And that's where you need to be able to build your own meta model, reflecting your organization, reflecting your vision, reflecting your line of business, reflecting your domain views. It's up to you. We'll also have stewardship automation. So we will leverage artificial intelligence to bring suggestions to the data steward in terms of life cycle, in terms of tagging and classification, in terms of links, suggestions with data sources. So we will try to ease the stewardship day-to-day work. We'll also bring traceability and lineage at column level if you want, because our connectors will look at your ETL flows. Can be a DBT, can be Databricks, can be Informatica, can be SSIS, can be Talend, and we'll look at what's coming in and what's going out. And then you can, of course, build diagrams with the content or based upon the content of your data catalog. So either physical diagrams to represent the relationship between your tables within a database, or what we call freestyle diagrams is the representation or the design of an internal process, and I will show you later on in the demo. So with these two first buckets of features, you will really construct, build the foundations and the pillars of your data catalog. And then at the end, you will have to share this information because you can spend hours, days, years building content. If you don't share it with the entire organization, it's totally useless at the end of the day. So we will bring features to share this information with anyone in the organization. So we have search engine. It's a Google-like search engine. We'll have discovery of the information based on the filters and your behavior in the platform. We'll have workplace integration. So It's an extension in Chrome and in Edge, which allows you to browse the content of the data catalog without connecting to DataGalaxy. And the last part is being able to share the diagrams that you built at the previous step and democratize this information in the organization or ease onboarding within the organization. So for us, scanning, managing, sharing are the three pillars of our vision of data management and data cataloging. To do so, really now from a feature standpoint, we provide 4 modules in our platform. The first one is pure business glossary. So it's what are the data assets I have available in my organization from a business standpoint, from an operational standpoint. Then we have the counterpart, which is the data dictionary. Where are my data assets stored from tables, from columns, from DBs. Then we have a catalog of processing. So is how my data is flowing from one system to another and which transformation is applied during this journey. And the last part is the usage catalog. So is why do we have data and why do we expose it to the organization? So from a BI standpoint, I have dashboards, I have reports, but also I have data sets, I have APIs, I have algorithm, and we build this library of data usage that can be exposed to the organization. And then last big feature is relationship management. So we will link all these assets together to build the traceability, technical traceability, understanding where the data is coming from, how it's transformed, and functional traceability, meaning that I have a report and I will be able to trace which data assets, which business term, which dimension, which KPI is displayed within that specific report. So we really close the loop and have an end-to-end view of the data. Uh, Here, just to briefly have a bit of a more commercial slide, these are the customers leveraging our platform. It's not the entire list, but it's just to show you that we are the solution of choice of many different industries and many different organizations in terms of size. Our biggest customer today is Total Energy. We are now their official data catalog solution. Thales is also very big. And then we have mid-size enterprises or very small companies leveraging our platform. Why? Because data challenges, data governance challenges, data management challenges are pretty common across all the industries, and they are pretty the same. You always struggle in finding who owns the data, what is a standard or unified definition across the organization, how the data is transformed, what are the system of records, the golden link, the MDM, or the transformation applied. So these are pretty common use cases that we will address. And we have, yeah, retail, manufacturing, pharma, uh, real estate, many different type of industries and sectors which are leveraging our solution. Now, back to use cases. In fact, what are the top use cases we do see within our customers? One of the biggest is still BI and analytics. Is I have dashboards, the numbers never match. I don't know how sounds familiar, huh, Kieran? The number never match. I run the report in finance, you run the report in sales. We never can't reconcile the number. I mean, it can really be a total mess. Or the numbers are good today. I run the report tomorrow. Bang, I have a zero. What's happening? I don't know how it was transformed, where the data quality issue resides. So this is one very big use case. Another one is around regulatory and compliance. I mean, we have a lot of finance, banking, and insurance. I mean, Solvency II is still one of the big use case, and uh, organizations are leveraging DataGalaxy to show evidence to the regulator that they are in control of their data and their data transformation and data flows. So that's an important one. Then we have data literacy. I mean, if you want to be data driven, you need to have a literacy program, and having a literacy program is also telling people how to understand and interpret the data within the organization. Same goes for digital transformation. We also have metadata hub. So we have some of our customers defining metadata in DataGalaxy. So classification, access policies, PII information, and then they push the information back in their operational system. Audit and risk, it comes along with regulatory and compliance. We also support merger and acquisition because, I mean, you buy a company, it's a totally different IT landscape. So you need to understand, you need to document how to integrate these systems together. And if you don't do it upfront, I mean, it can really be a mess at the end of the day. ESG is also one. It's becoming more and more important. It's a bit on the regulatory side, but how organizations can make sure that they pick the right data sources when building their ESG reporting. Change management, we have Swiss Life, which is a big insurance company on the European side or on the continent, I would say. Um, they use DataGalaxy to manage change. Every single new project which is going into production, if it's not documented in the data catalog, it doesn't go into production. They are very strict on that, but it's the best way to ensure the maintenance of the knowledge and the data catalog. Asset certification, so critical data elements, reporting certification framework, making sure that the most important assets of your organizations are really mastered, that you know who the owner is, where the data is coming from, how it's transformed. Data sharing agreements, I mean, APIs are more and more common, for instance, documenting who's sending what to who, and what are the parameters, the format, the content, the fields, the definition, and so on is very important. Customer centricity is also one. How do you understand all the systems around the world of your IT landscape to make sure that you only have one customer view, your customer 360 view, and making sure that you don't miss any sources. And then we can, like that, bring a lot of different use cases and help organization, in fact, harnessing their data. So that's use cases, but we also, from a user persona standpoint, we will also help many profile in the organization. So data analysts, if they want to identify the right data source, or within projects identify the right column to map, we are helping them. Data architects to really understand the big picture of the data, all the systems, how information are flowing, is flowing, sorry, between or across systems. Data engineers, so in terms of documentations, I mean, usually on the IT side, they are quite reluctant in documenting everything. And then anyway, they document things in a Word document, store it in a shared drive, and then it's immediately outdated. And having a centralized platform helps with the maintenance and sharing of the information. System owners and who's using my information, how it's leaving the system. Do I share, for instance, some PII information externally? I mean, it could be, like Karen said at the beginning, a security breach or a data breach. So it's important to be able to identify. Of course, data stewards with the operational knowledge. How can I share my knowledge and disseminate it across the organization? Data scientists, if I need to build a new algorithm, how can I make sure that I will uh, reach or tap the right column or the system of records, and having high quality information at the end of the day. So we'll be able as well to serve many different type of profiles in organizations. So having said all of that, we'll jump into the demo. Before starting the demo, let me know if you have any question about our approach and features we are providing.
I don't think there's anything there yet, Laurent.
No?
So
Okay,
yeah.
good. Then let's move to the next topic, which is the demo. So remember, um, when I presented our vision, we had 3 buckets of features: scan, manage, share. I will start with the share. Is how do we expose information to the entire organization? And when I mean entire organization, I mean these 97% of people who are not data literated, who are not data minded. I mean, someone from marketing, someone from accounting, someone on the production line, someone looking at a report, but who does not necessarily have to go and connect to DataGalaxy. So I'm picking here an example. I'm looking at a BI report, and I want to understand this report. So I'm in the public Power BI library. What I will do, I will leverage DataGalaxy's extension in Chrome and Edge. So I've selected the title of my report, and I will be able to perform a right click and search for the Superstore sales in DataGalaxy. The system will invoke our extension, and what do I see? Yeah, indeed, I have a monthly sales performance into my data catalog, and I have a preview of the report. I can see, yeah, it matches. I know who the data stewards are or is, if it's a critical report to the organization, the level of certification of my report. So here it's a trusted report. It means that we have all the controls in place to make it more trusted. I have the definition of my report. I have the link. This is additional information. I have tagging. I have a screenshot of my report. And then if I want to drill down, I can see that my report is showing this many information from either a KPI standpoint or a dimension or a business term. And if I want to go further and understand what is the definition of an active customer, I click on it and I can see, okay, my active customer showed on my report. This is the enterprise definition. So remember Karen introduction saying it's a hard time building uh, an enterprise vocabulary. This will help. And here we only have one definition of this active customer. So who made a purchase within a calendar year. That's it. If marketing has a different definition, it's another term which will be related to marketing. But here we are at the enterprise level. We have an access policy, we have tagging, we have, remember one of the use case was certification. So it's a critical data element to the organization. It's secret information. We don't want to share this information outside of the enterprise. We know where it's used. We have quality level. So we can see here that the quality or the result of the quality check based on the business rule, which is here. So it should contain either active, inactive, or churn. We have 94% of this element containing the right information, but we still have, of course, 6% which are outside of the expectations. We don't, just as a reminder, we don't perform the quality checks ourselves within DataGalaxy, but we retrieve the information from from your third-party data quality platform. And then we can have ownership. We can have additional information. We can have here, for instance, data custodian. We can have frequency of measurement if you want. And then we also have what we call synonyms in DataGalaxy. Synonyms means either we have another business term meaning the same thing. We have here active customer flag, or we have, for instance, an abbreviation. Uh, Active customer is usually known as ACF. And remember, one of the use cases was also onboarding and learning. I remember being a consultant, understanding my new client abbreviations was a nightmare all the time. So this type of approach can definitely help, because if I'm searching for ACF in the extension, system will tell me, yeah, indeed, I know ACF, it's a synonym of either active customer or active customer flag. So as a, I would say, common user, as a Lambda user in the organization, I don't have to connect to Data Galaxy. I remain in my working environment and I can just browse the information from this extension. And tomorrow, in a week or two, we will do the same integration with Teams, with Slack. So we will really integrate the data catalog with the the user digital environment or workplace. Now I will jump into Data Galaxy. So this is the web-based SaaS cloud platform, and here I will be acting more as a data steward. So I have my landing page. This is Data Galaxy's landing page, on which I have different sections or areas. One is generic information. So as the DPO or head of data governance, I can post messages there and share information. I have my community members, so I know who are administrators of the platform, who are the data owners, who are the data stewards, who are the DPOs, and so on within my organization. And I can post news. For instance, here we have a news towards our community that the Chrome extension has been released, or I will show you later on that an HR recruitment process has been documented and described and is now accessible to all the organization. And then I have here a catalog or library of filtered views. Filtered views means I can only look at a specific subset of my data catalog within one click. Then I have my search bar, my search engine, my Google-like search engine, in which I will simply type what I'm looking for. So I will go back to my active customer flag. An active customer flag, I will have either an exact match in a result or a fuzzy search with different results matching one or several words of my search. And if I want to restrict the content of my search or the content of my results, I can say, okay, I only want to search business terms and I'm applying a pre-filter to my results. Or I only want to see things contained in my GCP environment. Okay, so I have 3 columns with customer and active, and I'm not polluted by the rest of my data catalog. So I can really configure all these pre-filter views to only look at a specific subset. Now, I will jump into the first module, which is the business glossary. So I'm displaying my active customer flag, which is a business term. On the left side, I understand the ontology of my business term. So my business term active customer flag is part of a bigger concept called customer, which is part of the sales organization. Okay, so this is the business classification and organizations of the data assets. And then on the right part, I have exactly the same information as I had in my extension. So definitions, stewards, critical data element, classification, domains, tagging, context, so where the data or this data is used, the data quality management now with a graph in my screen, on my screen, sorry, and privacy information. So I can immediately contextualize and get all the information here. And if I want to go a step further, I can understand, okay, my business asset is linked to all these technical assets. So my active customer flag is stored in a CMDB, in my Salesforce, in my enterprise data warehouse, in an MDM platform, and in my Azure Data Lake Gold instance within that specific column. And the one with the yellow highlight is the source of truth, what we call the golden link. So it's really the ultimate source of truth. which makes sense because it's my master data. It's my master data platform. So here I have the view, both technical and functional view and implementation of this one specific asset in my IT landscape. Now let's jump into the data dictionary. So data dictionary is the second module, sorry. And you see here I have various technologies which have been documented. I have some APIs based on JSON file. I have here my Azure SQL environment, but I also have here Databricks. I have some Informatica. I have some Snowflake. I have here some Redshift, and I really build this inventory of all the data sources, which is the scan capabilities I was explaining earlier on. And then we reconstruct the physical implementation of your databases with, see here, database, model, table, columns. And within columns, we bring the available metadata, which is it a mandatory column? What type of column? Primary key, foreign keys. Also on some of the technologies at table level for Databricks, for instance, the number of records, who has accessed in authorized or unauthorized manner. So we really bring observability information. And to do so, just to show you the connector side, we have this exhaustive list of connectors with what you see either desktop connector or online. Online is a connector that you run in a secure tunnel between DataGalaxy and your data sources. Desktop is the what do you call it, listener agent that you will install on-prem on a virtual machine on the workstation, which will run and push the information back to DataGalaxy through our APIs. If you do it desktop with the listener on your premises, you have to orchestrate the information on your side. If you run it online from DataGalaxy, in fact, you can by yourself schedule the connectors that can be run every day, every week, every month, depending on your update strategy. And we do exactly the same with data flows. In data flows, we have also connectors to the most common technologies, and we will do the same thing. We will be looking at what type of information do you have in your flows. Let me pick one. Bim, 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 bim. Well, if we look here, okay, the way I built my CO2 measures within my ESG report. In fact, I have a data flow which picks information from my SAP HANA environment and consolidates everything into my Google BigQuery environment. And by building these blocks, pieces will build the entire puzzle of data traceability and data lineage, in fact. The last is on use, so mainly BI world. So I will also run, in fact, connectors. We have connectors to many of the existing BI platforms. Okay, of course, our most developed is Power BI, but it can also be Starburst from a non-BI approach, but from a data mesh approach. So we can also document, because I don't know if everyone is familiar with data mesh, but having data products and the data mesh, I would say, philosophy is you build data products and you need to expose these data products into a self-service platform for your organization. And this is what we do here with our Starburst connector. We build this library so people within the organization understand which data products are available and who can access what. So we're back to our Superstore sales performance report. And there, same, you get exactly the same information as in the connector. You have your report, you have governance information, you have information which is displayed within your report from a business term standpoint and so on. And you have, I will increase the size a little bit. You have traceability and lineage and end-to-end. So how do we read this? Is I'm starting from, you need to read it backwards. I'm starting from my report. My report is fed, sourced by here, for instance, my ID article column from my data warehouse, and my ID article through a flow, in fact, is picked in two systems, either another table from my data warehouse or into, here, for the example, a repository. And I can trace the information back up to the source. I will highlight the information here. I can trace it back to the source here and say, okay, I understand how my data is flowing. What is also important is to have it the other way around, is if I'm owning my staging area from Azure, if I change something there, what will be the impact down the line, on the systems, on the data flows, on which report, and brings, I would say, more governance on the way you manage or you master change management within your organization. So this is what we try to do with these four modules within DataGalaxy in the most automated manner possible with the connectors. Uh, Another feature on how to share information is the diagrams. So remember, here I saw the news that my HR recruitment process has been described. I can access within my diagrams my HR recruitment process. And what do I see here? How do I read this? In fact, is I have process owners, so human resource, recruitment team, talent management. I have processes steps, so job requisition, job description, job posting, candidate pool, candidate selection, candidate review. And these items, in fact, they generate, or these steps, sorry, they generate data items, job requisition ID, job title, which are stored in this specific platform. So here, the idea is to democratize the information or the content of the data catalog based on an enterprise process. So you can really share this information. And when you onboard HR, I would say people, data analyst, business analyst, you can explain them what are your processes from a business standpoint and what are the data elements you are using at each process, and then which are or what are the applications storing the information. And we can do the same here. I described my ESG process. Let's say, okay, my ESG process, I have, here, an ESG analysis dashboard, which has 3 reports. And one of the reports shows the CO2 emissions. And the CO2 emissions, in fact, they come from, data source, sorry. Remember my Google BigQuery when I showed you the data flows. We pick the information in my SAP HANA. My SAP HANA, in fact, picks also the information in local division Excel files, which are probably extraction. So I can as well show either the organization, either the management board, either the regulator, how I'm building my ESG report or how I'm building my BCBS 239 or Solvency 2 reporting, and be confident, in fact, in the way I manage my data. So in a nutshell, this is what we do at DataGalaxy. We really build this data knowledge workplace, which allows everyone in the organization, technical, functional, business, whatever department, to understand what data assets are available, building a common vocabulary around these data assets, and in fact, start helping becoming more and more mature and more data-driven. Okay, well, we have one question. Does DataGalaxy store information on-prem? Is cloud driven? Can it be strictly limited on-prem? So Good question, very important because from a security standpoint, first of all, we only query and store metadata. We are not able, when we use the connector, in fact, we cannot derive information from the data because we don't read the data. Okay, so if you expect DataGalaxy, for instance, to profile or sample the data, we'll not be able to do so. We only look at metadata tables, hence we only store metadata. We are natively cloud SaaS solution, but for some of our customers, we can be on-prem. We have some on-prem. In fact, Thales, because they are a secret defense organization, they run on-prem. We have Naval Group, which is the French organization building nuclear submarines. They are on-prem. We have Ministry of French Army, which is running also on-prem. So it's also a solution to run on-prem. Yes, which brings a bit more complexity because in terms of maintenance, release management, patching, and so on, it requires more coordination with our customers than being SaaS, where we have we manage everything. In fact.
Okay. Laurent, do you have you any more to show, or do you want me to take over from here? Or?
You can take over from here.
Okay, if you just stop sharing,
I will stop sharing. Yep.
Yep, I'll wrap the last screen here. So, yeah, and listen, thank you, Laurent, for that. I actually think I've been working with you guys for a wee while. Every time I see the system, I get more and more impressed. And again, I said picking up bits that I hadn't seen before. For people who are listening, there was a couple of points just to make sure when it comes to data quality, of course, that's where FME comes in. So our FME platform can do the data quality and do the scoring, and then can integrate nicely with DataGalaxy. So we did a data quality webinar a couple of months ago. It's on our website. So if anybody wants to see anything about that, that's great. Our plans are to integrate FME fully with DataGalaxy, so that the flows that Laurent was showing, that if you have an FME data integration pipeline, that then it will feed into the lineage and into the flows that you're seeing inside DataGalaxy. And similarly, we are on plans to integrate Sisense, which is our BI, so that you can go from Sisense, click on the Sisense dashboard, and see the full lineage and structure of how the data is coming from. So that's our roadmap, working with DataGalaxy to integrate our products. But I know, looking at the attendees this morning, we have a lot of Power BI customers who are using Power BI. Like when you see what you can do from Power BI or from Tableau to work back, it is excellent. And again, we have a lot of organizations who are SQL Server, who use server integration services, who are using Azure. We know your profile. This DataGalaxy solution can sit nicely, I think, with nearly every one of our customers, because they integrate with the stacks that our organizations use. So we're delighted to see it, and I really think when metadata can be a bit dry, but as you can see in what we were showing this morning, this is a complete solution for managing that governance and that data lineage, and we're really delighted to bring it to the Irish market. So we're as I said, every time I see it, I get more impressed.
And one last comment is, of course, we don't have all the connectors of the world, but we are highly promoting the co-design approach with our customers, because our vision is we will never develop a connector just to put it on the shelf and not being used. So if a customer or prospect has a specific need within a specific technology, we have a co-design approach. It's totally free, but at least the part of the customer will be to give us access to test environment, in fact. So we can develop the right connector for its needs and for the community, and then we'll make it available to the rest of the community.
Yeah, no, definitely. Oh, brilliant. That's great. And again, so we're going to have our data intelligence event on the 20th of September in the Ashling Hotel. For those from the FME background, there's no FME World Tour this year. but this will very much have a lot of what you normally see at the FME World Tour. So we have a number of FME customers giving case studies. The agenda will be going out pretty soon. We'll have the usual updates from FME, but we're also going to be showing DataGalaxy in a little bit more depth as well. So that's will be something for you to see, as well as showing Sisense from the BI point of view. So hopefully everybody can attend. It's nice to have face-to-face event again. So it'll be in the Ashling Hotel, and we also have a nice lunch and everything as part of it. So hopefully we'll see you all there. We are just about coming up to the hour. Thanks, VJ, for the question. I don't think there's any other questions at this point. So, Laurent, thank you again for presenting
You're
this
welcome.
morning.
It was my pleasure.
It's been excellent. I really enjoyed it. And if anybody has any questions about Data Galaxy, or would like to see more or hear more about information, Connor and Garrett, I think, will be sending follow-up emails and to you with the recording. A couple of people might have made it this morning, so we'll send that on. And if you'd like to see more information or demonstration or chat more about it, please get in touch with ourselves, and we'll be delighted to go through it with you. So I'd like to thank you all for your time. Hope you have a nice day and enjoy the summer. We've had a series of data webinars over the last few months. We'll take a couple of months break. We'll be back with the events in September, and then there may be a few more webinars then before Christmas. So watch out for them in your inbox. Laurent, thanks again, and have
Okay,
a
thank
nice
you
day.
very much, Karen. And thank you very much all for your attendance, and speak to you soon. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thanks, Tanya, and thanks, Tanya, in the background for organizing everything. Thanks, guys. Have a nice day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.